I'm Jimi Hendrick, and this is a new season new series called Accredited Powers on Empower Your Pattern 2.0. Did you know that there are success patterns to help you receive more, to help you live a better and extraordinary life? Well, I'm Jimi Hendrick. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm a success, confidence, and thrive coach. And if you come with me, I will give you these success patterns. Let's go. Okay, guys, I'm about to do something that I haven't done in a while. Quite frankly, because, well, West Texas, the weather until recently has been like, by our standards, bitter cold. Now, the ones that have lived here most of their lives, they complain that it's cold. But I want you guys to come on board with me, okay? Because enlightenment through God really can bring you some happiness. Okay? So, now, you're probably thinking, what is the Creationist Creed, and what's that have to do with empowerment and personal and professional development? Well, I'll tell you. And of course, I'm not trying to interject political or economic ideas in here. I'm just thinking, we all know, this is just my belief, okay? And a disclaimer, this is not an official belief of the church. It's kind of confessions of an old Baptist boy. You know what I mean? So, because, a lot of my friends outside the church hold that similar belief. It was something that I was raised on. So here's the thing. Creationist, as a person that has a Creationist Creed, they want to give people a helping hand. And you're thinking, why? Why? Because this earth is full of hurting people whose lives need blessings and empowerment. Also, because people need encouragement and support in a time like this. Number 3, because, I went into podcasting to kind of help people overcome adversity. And also to step into their God-given potentials. Now, I mean that as a friend. I'm hoping you guys really just have an absolute blessed day. I want you guys to have an absolute blessed day because you're worth it. You're worth it. Okay? And seeing that you're worth it. I wanted to talk to you about these things. I have met a variety of friends in my life. And a lot of the friends that I have are really close to Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ. And so, that's the thing. Being a creationist means that, as far as empowerment, it means being creative. Like, I have two different, it's a whole box of Jenga blocks, but I have one set of structures in my bedroom and one in my living room. Of course, the one in my living room, I either change out, just out of curiosity, kind of keep things, going. So, with this, the Accredited Powers series, I want to give you guys a call to action. And that is this. I ask those that are willing to join me on my creationist struggle, my creationist quest, where the prospering do what they can to help those who struggle. so that they can tap into their God-given potential. I'm not talking about handouts. I'm talking about giving them a hand up so that they can choose their destiny. You know? I tell you something. For about 12 years now, I've wanted to be a motivational speaker. And the metamorphosis I have gone through has been absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I mean, think about it. We are given the richest blessings of them all. Okay? So say, well, Jimmy, you lived a tough life. Yes, I lived a tough life. But I also think that I lived a rich life. Regardless of what you may see, say, or think, I lived a rich life. The college education I received at Otis College and Texas Tech University, and even the brief time that I was at UTPB, along with the lessons I learned on Christianity and religious tolerance, and my eventual conversion to the Church of Jesus Christ kind of helped me along the way. Along with, I'm holding in my hot little hand, it's a signed copy of my book to my nephew that I've written. The book is called The Winning Personality, a values-based approach to entrepreneurship in this economy. Okay, and so, really and truthfully, we all got it to do. It's a wonderful experience. Now, you may ask me, Jimmy, how did you develop the creationist mindset? It's all based on training as a good little Baptist boy in the Bible. Really and truthfully. Now, I have evolved over the years. I have evolved. Because if I hadn't made some changes in my life, I wouldn't be the podcaster that you hear before you now. You see what I mean? And sometimes being a creationist means you're facing obstacles. Right now, I guess because of some of the cold spats that we've had in West Texas. Granted, the winter was not as bad as last winter, and we can thank God for that. We can thank God for that this winter in Texas was not as bad. I know I had some friends that were flipped out about that, and you really can't blame it. Because severe cold weather is not that common around these parts in West Texas. It happens, every few years. Pardon me as I use my inhaler. Oh, it's not working. Let's see. I guess it's out. My inhaler's out. That's okay. I drink some fluids. How about that? But you guys know how I feel as a creationist. As a creationist, I'm a person that cares about empowering people. That cares about helping people tap into their potential. I think one thing I might recommend is creationists. How many of you on the months that have had 31 days read one proverb a day? I'm actually considering that as a supplementary reading. One proverb a day. I mean, it just sounds amazing to me. And I have come to appreciate it. And I count on the Heavenly Father to know what's best for me. Now, you might say, how is it that maybe your college education turned you more towards the creationist? It's not so much what I learned on campus. Because, whatever science I took, of course, that my primary interest was political science with an arm towards, say, public affairs, public relations. Even though I did study journalism for a stint. But I digress. It was what I learned in communicating with my peers on the Odessa College campus, and also more particularly on the Texas Tech campus. I'll tell you something. The Texas Tech campus was like a culture shock to me. Because the larger universities is more like a melting pot. A mecca for multiculturalism. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot. And so another way that I learned on how to be a creationist is through contact with my late BFE, Brian Keith Cotton, who has been gone for nearly 19 years. That just blows me away. He was my best friend, and we still are best friends for eternity. But one of the things he taught me is things like, God doesn't do bad things. And if you want to be wealthy, make sure your motives are to help people. Help bless the lives of people. Okay, so that's the important part here. Keith was a wonderful inspiration to me. Someone that could bless my life in more ways than I can count. Now, I have another close friend, my best friend, Michael. He's kind of opened my mind to a variety of views. I'm not saying he and I necessarily agree. And I think it has a lot to do with, our upbringings are similar, but in many ways, not similar. And see, that's the thing. For a creationist, our viewpoint are based on two things. How we were raised, but also how we choose to condition ourselves in adulthood. And part of being a creationist, and this is something I need to teach myself, and that is the fact of, really and truthfully, you have to do this. You have to seriously look into doing this. You need to break away from the negative and start doing the positive. Because here's the thing about this series, Accredited Powers. What we're dealing with is more of the you need less of the negative and more of the positive. Now, who do you think is the author of negative? The person that started this reactive culture merry-go-round that we face, I think, almost every day. It's easy. Satan. Lucifer. Hasatan, because I'll tell you something, he loves to get the ball rolling. He loves to get the ball rolling. Like last week. Last week, I don't know what was up with me. I had bipolar disorder, and my moods were like going up and down like crazy. And I remember one particular time, I can't say I was watching anything that goes against my standards, but it was some negative comment.